Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy CMB. Got some interesting news for you guys today. Canelo Alvarez and Dmitry Bivol, it seems that the talks have broken down between the two fighters. If you didn't know, they were in talks for a rematch this coming September, and it seems that the offer that was made by Canelo, Bivol and his team did not take too kindly to that, and so now they're going to move on if they don't get a better offer, I would say. So I want to read a little bit of this article, catch you guys up to speed on what's going on with that situation, and then give you guys my take on what I think Canelo Alvarez should do next if this doesn't happen. So it says here, it's being reported by ESPN Knockouts in Mexico that Bivol's manager, Vadim Kormilov, stated that they absolutely will not accept the current offer presented by Team Canelo and will move on if their conditions are not met by the Mexican superstar. So they're not saying that, negotiations are over. It's saying if they don't get a better offer, they're going to walk away from the whole thing. So the quote says, they don't want a rematch. They know that they lost very badly in the first fight and that they have an even less chance of winning in that second bout. When did you hear of a fighter who, after losing, asks for a rematch on the same terms? In my opinion, they're not serious about a rematch and are really interested in making another fight, possibly with Edgar Berlanga. A rematch cannot take place with the same terms as the fight you lost. It's stupid. We are looking forward now with Artur Beterbiev as our target. So those were the words of Bivol's manager. Not happy with what Team Canelo presented. I think they said that the conditions were on the same terms as the first fight. And honestly, guys, I have to agree with that. Canelo Alvarez may be, the popular guy, but he actually lost the fight. And I know it's prize fighting, but it's still boxing. Winning and losing matters in boxing. So if you're going to go into negotiations with a guy that defeated you and very convincingly, he's going to expect, some perks coming out of defeating you the first time. You can't just be, the complete A-side. There has to be a little give there. So, I mean, it could be a situation where he really doesn't want the fight. I hope that's not the case about Canelo Alvarez. I do know if he goes into the fight fighting the same way he did in his last fight, in the fight with Triple G, there's no chance of him actually winning that fight with Bivol. Now, you have this Edgar Berlanga equation. I've been hearing a lot about Canelo Alvarez wanting, a fight with Edgar Berlanga. I think that's a mistake if he takes that fight. If he doesn't, take this Bivol fight, honestly, I think the next best fight is the David Benavidez fight. And honestly, I think that's the best fight. I think he should fight Benavidez before he fights Bivol in a rematch, because he's the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. You have David Benavidez, who is a two-time WBC champion at 168 pounds. He defeated Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, and he deserves a shot at the titles. Right is right, guys, no matter what. I know some people are going to argue, what has David Benavidez done? They both shared the same opponent. That's what David Benavidez has done. He's a two-time WBC champion, and he deserves a shot at being that guy. And if Canelo Alvarez and Bivol don't come to some type of agreement, honestly, I think that should be the next fight for him, because let's face it, Edgar Berlanga, nobody's checking for Edgar Berlanga. That's no competition for Canelo Alvarez. The type of fighter Canelo Alvarez is, that's an insult in my opinion. If he picks Edgar Berlanga over fighting David Benavidez, then that's a complete duck in my eyes. Probably a lot of you guys as well. I know some people are going to ride with Canelo no matter what, but that would be a complete duck move if he fights Edgar Berlanga and he doesn't fight David Benavidez, because who has Edgar Berlanga faced? I've heard Canelo Alvarez say that about David Benavidez, but you could say the same thing for Edgar Berlanga. He hasn't been in a ring with anybody of the caliber of a David Benavidez, in my opinion. So let's let this play out, see what happens. I know that Bivol actually wanted this fight at 168. He wanted those titles to be on the line, but you can't really blame him for that. He's not really getting anything out of this fight. And, you know, Canelo Alvarez going in with all the perks, it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with a lot of boxing fans, and it definitely doesn't sit right with Bivol. You know, he shouldn't have to give up everything, even though he won in the first fight and in convincing fashion. So let's just see what happens next, guys. I do like Canelo Alvarez as a fighter, but he has to start fighting these guys that people want to see him fight. You can't keep trying to take the easy road, because now people are looking at you saying, you know, are you really as good as you think you are? If you're that good, then face the competition that people want to see you face. But anyway, guys, you guys let me know what you think about this situation. What do you think should be next for Canelo Alvarez if he doesn't fight Bivol? Would you rather see him fight David Benavidez, or would you rather see him fight Edgar Berlanga? You guys let me know about that in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.